You're an entrepreneur and an economist by trade, making waffles in Cincinnati, Ohio. How in the heck did that happen?
So I landed in Cincinnati by mistake. So
Are we supposed to be happy about that?
I think so.
Okay, all right. By mistake.
So originally I moved to the US to do a PhD in economics at University of Pennsylvania. So my goal was to do academic research, teach very nerdy stuff. So economic theory, not business school. And then it took the folks at Penn less than a year to discuss me of academics for life. So all of a sudden I didn't know what to do next. So I completed the master's degree there, and then I could legally work in the US for 1 year. So I applied for jobs all over the country. And then I figured the first place where I get a job offer, I'll move there. It's for 1 year, and then I have 1 year to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life.
And it happened to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. So the only company that would hire you.
And that's the funny thing, is that there is a economic consulting company in DC who made me an offer first. The premise that the offer kind of like got lost. And
so your wife would have been completely different.
Oh, it would have been totally different.
In 17 years, you wouldn't be sitting here in a podcast studio talking about waffles.
No, by the time I reached out to them, I'd already moved there. I signed the lease. I did not understand like why I didn't get that job. So I just reached out and say like, hey, just let me know why so I can be at peace with it. And they say like, no, we wanted you. And I'm like, oh, well, that is really weird. So here I am.
So you already stuck with your commitment.
Yeah.
So you signed the lease. You said, I'm here doing the job. So then what happens? This is in 2000. You come to Cincinnati in 2000. And then you have this idea. I don't know when. We're going to talk about that today. And then you start making some waffles in 2007. But I want you to take the mic after I say this. How in the world do you go from 2000 to then 2007? But the best part is, how do you get a 120-pound waffle iron from Belgium to Cincinnati, Ohio?
So let's roll back to 2000. So the company sponsored my visa, and then they kind of, well, first of all, they hired me for 1 year. And then after 1 year, they apply for an H-1B visa, which is an immigration visa, work visa, that you can renew once. And they were happy with the work I was doing, so they sponsored my green card. So in 2005, I got the green card. And then I was kind of bored at work, so I started working with a friend of mine on the side, and we ended up building a hot food vending machine in my basement. So originally the plan with that, so I quit my job, work on that project with a friend. The plan was to work with an Italian company that makes a hot food vending machine, bring that to the US. We had a little partnership with Sarili Foods that was still here. They wanted us to test the product, etc. So looks like things were on track. And then the Italian company got acquired by a larger company that solely focuses on the Italian market. And then I had the dumbest idea ever. I'm there like, how hard can it be? Let's build it ourselves.
How hard can it be? So 2006.
Yeah. Right? So we build a vending machine. The first prototype got money from friends, family back home, a group of investors here. Lots of drama, but we managed to deliver something that is working, that the investors are happy with. And then it's December 2006. Economy is not doing that great. We were supposed to get the commitment. That did not happen. I put my last 2 mortgage payment on a credit card. And then I was actually back home in Belgium for what was supposed to be a celebratory trip. And then I had to tell the family, like, well, I don't know what next stage will be with the vending machine. I need to figure that out because I need to find a new group of investors at the time.
And your money's gone.
Yes. So I had 1 credit card that was not maxed out. I went early January to a vending industry trade show in Brussels. And I mean, it was hospitality industry. There was a vending machine division to kind of see what people were doing, etc. And then there was an old man who was baking waffle at the entrance. So I spent 2 hours with the old man and then did some math on the back of a napkin. And then I came back and visited him the next day and left with a 120-pound cast iron waffle maker. I've never baked a waffle in my life.
Ever. Isn't it incredible how 2 hours can change your life?
Yeah.
2 hours. all the preparation on these different courses that you've been on, all the education, all the academics, all the hope, all the time in basements, building vending machines, and you see one thing, spend 2 hours and make a decision and your life has changed.
Well, the idea is that this thing was just something that I was going to do on the weekend to pay the bills so that I can spend the rest of the time during the week to find new group of investors and continue with the vending machine project.
So then what happened then when you get the waffle iron here, thinking it's going to be a part-time weekend, what happens?
So the idea was to originally bring frozen waffle dough from that older gentleman in Belgium and then come back here. I tried to check in the waffle iron with Delta. That didn't go well. So it was the first and last time that my brother dropped me off at the airport, because from dropping me off at the airport, he had to figure out how to get a 120-pound cast iron waffle maker, created and shipped to the US. So he spent the next 2 or 3 days on that.
Were there things you had to deal with there, even to start the business? You had to figure out how to get the tool to do the part-time job, how to make the logistics happen to even get it here. And you hadn't done any of that. You've never shipped anything that big from Europe to the US.
No.
Right?
So the waffle iron, that was pretty simple. My brother took care of that. On the waffle dough, what happened when I came back is I was talking to Jean-Robert de Cavel, was a very good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And I explained to him what I was going to do, and he told me, like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
What'd you do then when he said this is the stupidest thing? You argued?
Well, he told me, make your own freaking waffle dough yourself, and you can use one of my kitchen.
And that's what you did.
And so that's what I did. And then I realized, well, the recipe you find online are really not that good. And I'd never made waffle dough myself. So another friend who's a pastry chef helped me with the recipe, and we kind of like reproduced it based on the way I remember the waffle tasting when I was a kid. So it's not a traditional Liège-style waffle. It's a variation. What I did, I asked my mom to track there was an older guy who was baking waffle when I was a kid at the market in Visé, where we would go on every Wednesday. And then I asked her, can you call him and see if I can reach out with getting some advice from him in terms of proportion, etc. So she tracked him down. I called him. He was retired, and then give me a few pointers, and so it went.
Your friend, a very influential, famous chef who's passed, who you just spoke about, were you friends with him prior to having this idea of making waffles?
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't have called me stupid if you didn't know me.
Some people would.
Fair enough.
That brings up this idea of how important it is to have good people around us.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
The network, the people that are, I would argue he was a positive influence, but just with a little bit of negativity and meanness, right?
No, super positive influence. Great friend. Him and Annette, his wife, have been close friends of mine for over 20 years now.
Said, come try it in one of my kitchens. No charge, no expectation. Just come and let me help you.
Yep. Just try it there, see if you can make the dough. And then what I did, I reached out to Brian Madison at Findlay Market. So I'd been shopping at the market since 2000, so I knew Brian pretty well. And then I asked him, like, hey, I have an idea. Do you mind if I set up a waffle iron at the back of your produce store on the counter at the back? I can take care of selling the coffee, so you save an employee, and I can see if people like the product or not. And
what were the economics behind this, Mr. Economist? What were they? Were there any? This was just a hope and a dream and an idea. Had you built the plan, the strategy behind the money?
Hey, there was a full business plan on that napkin.
A full business plan. That's all it takes sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there were probably any algorithms on there.
No.
I don't think there was probably strategy on there, was there? What did that napkin look like? Do you have it framed?
No.
You don't have it anymore?
I don't have it anymore.
What would it look like if you had to write that again? Is there 3 lines? Are there 4 lines? Is it more theory? Because you're a theory, right? You're an economist that studied theory.
Yeah, so it was really assuming that people would like the product, and there is really nothing like it that I had seen in the US before. So, and tourists always like it, so I assume people would like the product. But assuming they like it, where can I find a place that I would need to sell enough waffles to cover my mortgage and basic expense? I didn't have much expenses. It's just small house, $800 mortgage, a little bit of living expense. And I'm there like, okay, I can probably do that Saturday and Sunday at Findlay Market if I find a place where, I mean, originally I was going to bring the dough, but then it was even easier when I started making it myself, because then the only thing I just needed to bring sugar from Belgium.
So, how many hours for the first 6 months of this endeavor? How many hours did you put into this? Let's consider hours a week. So if people think these work weeks are 40 and 50 hours a week, that's not an entrepreneur's work week.
No.
However, if you took a week every 6 months, which would be 26 weeks, how many hours a week do you think you contributed towards this idea?
I mean, at first, not that much, in the sense that it was, that's what I was doing in my free time when I was not working on the hot food vending machine. So we were fine tuning the mechanics of the machine and all that, and giving presentation left and right to try to find the next group of investors. So I would work Monday through until Friday morning on the hot food vending machine. Then Friday I would go down to Green Up Cafe. It used to be in Covington on Green Up Street, and make the waffle dough in the basement, and then bring it over to Findlay Market. And then Saturday morning I would go pick up the dough, go set up at Findlay Market before the market opens, and then be there as long as it would sell out.
No time, no end to the commitment. Stay until the work is done.
Yeah. And then I realized every week I've not made enough waffle dough.
Every week.
It was really funny. But I think it's only after 3 weeks that Brian Madison told me we have a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? And he goes like, I'm in business of selling produce, and this store is congested with people eating waffles.
You're out of here.
So what we did, we actually rented a space together across his produce store where Urbana Cafe is, where you have the rolling garage door. And I set up there, baked the waffle there, and Brian was also selling additional produce. So it was a win-win.
Why Findlay Market? Did it feel natural to some of the markets in Europe? Did it feel similar?
It was really in terms of like, where can I find a lot of foot traffic and have a chance of interacting with people? Because if people don't taste the product, there is zero chance they're going to buy it because they don't know it. So I would constantly sample the product, and Findlay Market was just the best place from that standpoint.